Greetings and welcome to the 9th week of this portrait. And you have really been learning an incredible amount of stuff. It's been truly remarkable how much you have gone into this. Probably a lot deeper than you ever imagined that would be physically, emotionally, psychologically, whateverly possible. Anyway, so we're here and you have been doing the underpainting using the 3 basic colours of brown, black and white for the last 2 weeks. So now we're going to move on to the flesh. Now basically everyone's flesh colours are made up from the same colours. It doesn't matter what part of the world you're from. So I'm going to show you those. Here they are all laid out. I've got I'm going to set them out here from light to dark. Okay, so I'm going to start by squeezing them on the palette. Now you all have this palette which has come from the Blick art store in the Hostos art box that I asked you to buy, and it's this thing, and that's the word palette. And it opens up, and inside are greaseproof sheets that are shiny because you want them like that. You don't want normal paper because it will not, how would I say, this does not absorb the paint and take all its water away and dry it out. It keeps it properly smooth for painting. So that's what you want to remember. Keep it smooth for painting. So we're going to start, and you're going to learn this week how to set up the palette. So take the palette, start with the lighter colour here, which is white. Bit out like that, okay, on there. Then you should have a cadmium yellow like that. So that's a little bit darker. So that goes there, and keep them a little bit separate from each other so you don't end up kind of just getting them all mixed up together. You want to keep the paints in little spaces between themselves. And then you have that darker yellow, which is called yellow oxide. Now we're going to move into the warmer colours, which are the reds here. You've got the cadmium red. I don't know what you got, but in the Blick box that I got, they sent me a giant tube of red. So if you like red, it's bigger than all the other ones. I don't know why. And then we're going to move, you may have the 2 browns. So I have burnt sienna, come on, which is a lighter brown. Like that. So you can you see that, the way it's going? That's a lighter brown. And then I've got burnt umber, which is a darker brown, because it's the same brown but they've kind of like burnt it, and so it's got that burnt umber texture. And then the opposite of the white on this side is the black, which is the darkest colour. So the whole palette of colours is here: white, cadmium yellow, light yellow, yellow oxide, cadmium red, burnt sienna, burnt umber, black. And that's how we go around in that circle from light to dark. Okay, so you've got the setup, and using your photograph or the old mirror, you're going to try and build up the flesh. Now, everybody's flesh is a slightly different colour. I mean, here's mine, cheeks, reddish, whatever's going on in there. But everyone's got the same basic shades in their flesh. And of course, everyone's got blood underneath the skin there, so it's going to affect the look of certain parts of the face. You can see here, maybe there's kind of like, redder here, maybe there's blood kind of just under there showing through, God knows, or just reddish cheeks. But take this, try and do it little bit by little bit. What do I mean by that? Don't make a huge flesh tone in the middle and then just smear it all over the face like you were smearing peanut butter over a piece of bread to make it all the same colour, because no one's face is the same colour all throughout. You know, the face has got lots of different tones in it. There's something like I tried to get you to learn with the shadowing. There's certain bits of the face, you can see it with the light here on me. I mean, I've got like light on this side of the face, and then this is sunken in here, and then this is darker here. So there's light and shade throughout all faces. So you're wanting to have an awareness of the lights and the shades and the whole absolutely wonderful range of tones that go into a human face. So try your best. I'm going to take me Old Scotsman tone. So I'm mixing up white, yellow, brown. And don't stress about getting the shade right. Just plough around, you know, it'll evolve, you know. All art is a sea of mistakes that eventually can float, you know, and make sense. But it really is all about not panicking and allowing all the mistakes that you make to be part of the painting, because that's what makes it a painting. So I'm going to go in here, and as you saw last week, I had fleshed out the bit of the face with those three colours. So this is lightening it up a bit and shaping it more a bit. Now you can use any of those brushes. You have a lot of brushes now, 12 or 13, I'm not sure. And with all of those brushes, you have a definite range of sizes, and it's really up to you which ones you use. Now I'm going to fill out this, what do you call it? This forehead. So I'm using this should be probably the biggest brush in your palette. Now, as my painting is considerably bigger than any of yours, I have to use these big brushes more so, because I'm doing a demonstration. Now you're working on a smaller scale, 18 inches by 24 inches. So it's not so imperative for you, but I'm just filling in these things. Now it's not all done in one session. You know, you don't want to rush a painting. You want to allow it to evolve, and you want to allow it to shape itself. So you've got the 2 containers of water, remember that? And I'm just going to shape this nose a little bit better, because it went a little bit funny there. Now that's the smallest brush you'll have in the set. That's a very good brush. I call it a drawing brush because you can use it to draw shapes. The other ones are for filling in things. You know, you can use them for drawing to an extent as well, but this one is a very sharp point, and where something is not the right shape, like this nose was not the right shape, I can reshape it and make it better. So, you know, a lot of painting, as you're going to find out, is correcting and shaping things and making it more perfect, or more alive. That's a better word. Perfect. I don't like perfect. There's too many people trying to be perfect, and they make the world into a hell. It's perfect. It's perfect not to be perfect. It's perfect just to be exactly who you are, because who you are, whatever you are, whoever you are, is perfect. It's you. There you go. So cleaning off the brush, going back in. There's the nose coming up better. And this side. use that bigger brush now to blend in. Now with the brush you can move it in different ways. You know, there's I call it the blending way, which is like that, bouncing in like that. Okay, so you can do that, or you can do just the normal brushing that you see artists doing, which is what I'm doing there. Blocking it in. What did I always say? Start tight, finish loose. So I'm going to get a little bit looser here at the beginning because I'm starting to think too tight there. It's all, you know, everyone thinks in a different way. Some people think very tight. You know, they always want everything perfect, a kind of OCD thinking. Some people, you know, they don't mind a bit of chaos and mess. Everyone's different. No one's right, no one's wrong. Everyone's doing it their way. It's a kind of method of coping with life and getting through it. So once again, I'm going to use that. Now you can use as many brushes as you like. I'm just holding 3 brushes here, but I could be taking more in. You know, I would say, you know, you don't need to do the whole of the face and cover it. You can just concentrate on different bits to bring them out. Like I'm concentrating on this neck, this God, I'm concentrating on this nose. Yep, here he comes. So this side is a little bit shaping there, a little bit more red because the cheeks are coming out red. Now, you know, if your complexion is darker than mine, you'll still have these tones going on there. You'll just have to, you know, really look at the mirror, really look at the photograph, and do your best to see what's there. Now I'm building up under the eye there with some light. Can you see that? I'm going to take another brush out because I want a clean brush to blend that in. Okay, blending that in. Now someone was asking me in one of the texts that I get saying, what's the most important thing to do, the hair or the eyes? And I said, well, you know, to be honest with you, it's really hard to live without a pair of eyes. You know, you're going to be blind, but you know, it is possible to live a normal life without any hair. So, you know, you don't want to lose your hair, but you know, it goes. And so obviously eyes more important because you would be disabled without them, whereas you could be just a cool, bald look, you know. So, yeah, the eyes. That's the answer. The eyes are the window into the soul. Although I'm saying that, you know, since this is me from a few years ago when my hair was better, so, you know, the baseball cap is disguising the kind of not so good hair, so. Yeah. We all worry about it. But, you know, to be honest, in the scheme of things, it's less important than the eyes. So I'm going back in again. I'm going to do the first layer of the flesh. Now you've got the colours, white, yellow, dark yellow, red, the 2 browns and the black. Okay, and you can see how I'm starting to get them all in coordination here. Yeah, another brush. And you can see, you know, as it goes in, you're starting to use more and more brushes. You know, you start to get more and more developed, and you need all those tools. There's a reason why I ask you to get all those things. It's not because, you know, we want to give money to Blick. It's because you need them. You know, an artist needs good equipment. So I'm going to just plop in the ears. Somebody sent me Underpainting, and a lot of people are forgetting ears for some reason. I said the ears are, you know, easy to do because you just squiffle them in, but don't forget to do some sort of shape for the ears, because if there is nothing there at all, it looks kind of weird, like a person with no ears. So pop in something. I'm just using whites and browns on those ears. So right now he looks like he's got a filthy kind of moustache underneath the nose. I'm going to fix that. Ah, God. In with some more paint. It's a shadow, not a moustache. Well, that's kind of too red, but it doesn't matter because, like I said, everything that you're painting gets painted over, you know, and there's never a mistake. All there is like the guy on the Bob Ross show, happy accidents. So there's a happy accident because that will give a real bounce off to that cheek and bring it up. So don't get too tight. You know, don't get too worried and frantic. Everything kind of can be built in because once it dries, you can just paint over it. There's no real mistakes. All there is the only mistake is to think that you're making mistakes. That's the biggest mistake. Let that be a lesson in life. The only mistake is to think you're making mistakes. There are no mistakes. There is just the process of life itself. Whether it involves happiness or suffering, it doesn't matter. They are both things that you accept and learn from and develop from. And that's a wonderful thing to realize. And I would say the sooner you realize that, the better. Now I'm going to do his lips darker. And I'm using that drawing brush, the shaping brush. Remember, it is the one that's separate. It should be this Blick Scholastic brush with a nice top. And it's a really good brush. I specifically asked them to put that in the box because it can help you to use what I've taught you with the drawings to develop the painting. Drawing and painting, I mean, to me it's the same thing. You're just working on something that you're seeing. I'm one of those artists, you know, I don't just do things out of my head. I need to see things around me to paint them. Even if it's something weird, you know, I'll base it on, like I did this thing with a diving suit, and the last time I was traveling anywhere was to Spain, to Barcelona, and they have a diving suit, like maritime sea museum place. It's really cool. And they had this weird diving suit standing there. So he ended up in a painting. But I needed to see that, you know, and the rest of the stuff just kind of flowed out around it. If any of you want to see that, just text me and I'll forward a photograph of that painting. But it was from that diving suit, an underwater suit in Barcelona. And I did that one in watercolours. So I'm shaping up the lips a bit more. You can see I'm using 3 colours, which is red, brown and white. So they're a little bit different kind of colour and texture than the rest of the face. As you know, if you look at your lips, and of course it's the part that people put lipstick on. Okay, so I'm roughing that in. Now I'm leaving squatchy paint on it, you know, bits and pieces, because you know, I'm not refining it yet. I'm working it in. I'm thinking. You want to be thinking while you're painting. You're working your way into this thing, and in that process, you know, it's weird. It animates the painting, and it brings it into a sort of life, you know, that is extraordinary. It's a wonderful feeling. So if you are getting into painting through my class, I am a very happy person, because the more people that are doing painting and drawing, the more they become like human beings instead of just opinions and I'm right and you're all wrong. So that's a good thing, because artists are very open to all sorts of different types of people. They're not judgmental, and they're not, you know, they don't really go around killing people. You never hear about artists killing people. Artists don't go postal. So I'm using it, because it's a much bigger painting, I've had to go on to a much bigger brush here, because it's, even those big brushes on this size of scale are tricky, you know, so I'm finding this easier now. This is a big one, but you don't have one this size, but because I'm working on such a much bigger scale than any of you, and trying to do this demonstration, I need something that's much bigger. So I'm shaping in what had gone before and roughing it in. And like I said, start rough, finish tight. So yeah, it's coming, it's coming. Still not 100% happy, but you know, it's going to be not done in one session. Let's bring those eyes out. So where's my little drawing brush? There he is. So I don't know what colour your eyes are. Mine are brown. Me and my mum had brown eyes. My dad and my brother had blue eyes. So there was like two opposing forces. So, and actually my brother is quite temperamentally like my dad in some ways. So maybe it is. The window to the soul. So I'm going to put the pupils, so I put them brown, and then I'm going to put the pupils in the eyes black. Straight out there, you know, that's going to be really jet black there. I'm going to do that. I'm trying to get them round. Make them a bit bigger. If you make the eyeballs too small, it looks like the person's like really kind of mean, staring at you. If you make them a bit bigger, it makes the person look more open, or more gentle. Okay. Problem is with these demonstrations, I do want to go on quite a long time, but I'm aware that we're coming up to 20 odd minutes now, and it will be enough for most of you to have looked at. So there's that, and I'm just going to do a little white of the eye there, you know, bang it in. So okay, that's the start of the flesh. Okay, it's not perfect, but it's the first, it's the start. We'll do some more, and we'll build up the layers of this thing until I'm going to do a little light around the top of the lip here to make it stand out. I can see he's got this light there, and you might notice that just to make it stand out a bit. At the chin there with that. You can use your finger. You can use your finger to rub in things. The paint is non-toxic. A little bit of that red stuff, you know, in the corner of the eye. Okay, well there we are. 25 minutes, and you're building up the flesh tones. You've got the colours there, you can see what I've been doing with them, and whatever your flesh tone is, it's going to be made up with these colours, ranging from black, brown, light brown, red, dark yellow, light yellow to white. You start using those and do it little bit by little bit. You can see I mainly concentrated on the nose there, and I'm going to concentrate on other features as we move further into this. So try your best. Let me see what you can do with the flesh tones, and send me your photographic image of what you've done by text or email, and send it by the Sunday at midnight. Okay, there we are. Close up so you can see that. So, I mean, I'm seeing all the mistakes I've made there just now, so I'm going to work on things, but you can get the picture now. That's done pretty quickly, just to give you a quick idea, and you can take it further from this and build it up over the week. Okay, folks, bye for now.